Pizza time.
Okay, so episode 8, we're back. It's been quite a few weeks.
Far too long.
Yeah,
Far too long.
We've had some people out of the country. We've had other people not out of the country.
Just being those people.
Yeah.
Who were the people out of the country?
You. And I was out of the state.
I was
You were out of state.
I was sitting at home just playing video games. You might have seen I kind of streamed a few times with Mike before during the lull periods.
Yeah, I mean, Munchie was in Maine, so that's kind of out of the country.
Yeah, see that.
You're basically in Canada. Let's be honest.
Was it beautiful?
Was it still snowing up there?
Shut up. All right, one, Maine is beautiful. Two, only when I go up with my dad's family am I really that close to Canada. I'm like 30 miles from the border when I go up, but I was in like southeast Maine visiting my girlfriend Kate.
Oh,
shout out.
Was it cold?
Yeah. No, it was actually pretty good.
Like 80s?
No, it was like 65.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, no, it gets cool. It's cool up there, but I love it compared to the humidity down here.
Yeah,
man.
Yeah, when I was in Mexico, I was near Playa del Carmen. It was probably the hottest. I've been to Mexico about 10 times or so, and it was probably the hottest that I've ever been.
How hot was it?
Global warming isn't real.
Hey, congratulations!
Actually,
also, congratulations to Marcucci for not getting Montezuma's revenge this time.
Oh, look, I only got that once. Okay.
Well, you prevented yourself from getting it twice, so it deserves an applause.
Well, the last time was because I actually drank pool water. I was
young. How do you accidentally drink pool water?
Normally, you drink it on purpose.
Exactly.
I jumped into the water.
How do you
For those few people, that was called irony.
Well, I jumped into the pool and it went up my nose and went down my throat. So.
And then it went out your ass.
Yeah, basically, I shit myself to death.
All right, so
yeah,
feeling free. Want to talk about E3?
Yeah, so E3 happened while we were away. Todd Howard sat down with Elon Musk, and they both had to consider their failures.
And this was every year. It's like they try to. How can we make this more cringier than last year? And it's like they
last
always
year, I think,
consistently went up themselves.
I mean, it's not my con.
Look, the best part of E3. I'll take my take first. The best part of E3 was Keanu Reeves. By far, Keanu Reeves. Agreed. And who brought their dog on?
I don't know.
Sounds about like Ubisoft. Didn't Ubisoft?
I think it was Ubisoft.
I don't know. That was the one I skipped. I skipped Ubisoft because
I did too.
I was also disappointed about Ubisoft because, for me, I'm into pirate stuff. If you didn't know, but
what were you expecting pirate wise?
Apparently, they're in. It's I guess it's so far in alpha that they don't want to show it. There's something called Skull and Bones, which is like their answer to Sea of Thieves.
Oh, okay.
It's a lot more realistic and less cartoony looking. I signed up. I'm still expecting to be called for that testing, so I'm definitely gonna fucking do it. But I'm surprised they didn't even show a glimpse of it. I hope it's just not an undercover project. I also hope it's not fucking part of Uplay.
Mm-hmm.
It probably will be.
Yeah, it will be.
Yeah. So, to all you lucky people out there, you can pay, $15 a month to play Ubisoft games. You can probably buy The Division for $5.
The first one, absolutely.
Yeah.
Second one's still kicking around at full price.
I still like that.
It was good.
That
you can probably buy most of the Assassin's Creed for $5, except for the most recent ones.
Well, you can get
the Ezio Auditore collection probably pretty fucking cheap now.
I believe that's $25. I've seen it for $25 in retailers.
I didn't like it, the Ezio Auditore collection, because of what they did to Assassin's Creed 2. Apparently they added extra missions towards the end, and it's just it completely ruined the pacing for me. Because I loved Assassin's Creed 2. I thought the story was beautiful, and then it's just wait, I never played these missions before. They fucking added these in, and it makes no fucking sense to the story. Apparently, he has the apple at one point. Gets it stolen by a monk. And then the monk goes mad with power, and then you have to end up assassinating all these different monks in the district of Firenze.
Florence. It's pretty much it's Italian for Florence.
I mean,
Firenze. Yeah, Firenze.
One of the two.
And it's just it completely slows the game down to a halt. I got so annoyed with it.
I'm kind of glad. I mean, I'm not a fan of the more recent Assassin's Creed games. I don't like the new RPG approach to it.
As do most people.
There's like a weird schism in that because people like it, but they don't like Assassin's Creed's new mechanics. Like if they kept the old Assassin's Creed mechanics and put an RPG element, I would have liked it more.
I like the realistic kills because now I was playing Odyssey and it feels like it's inspired by Dark Souls in a way that combat is because it's roll stab, and like where the other Assassin's Creed you usually use one hit kills with the enemies, but like because you're stabbing them in the throat.
Mm-hmm.
It's why I like the Black Flag. It's why I love Black Flag. Other than the pirate shit, it actually was gruesome combat when you played it.
Yes, it was.
I gotta go on another Black Flag run, but
I would probably buy it for my PC.
But so we got a city to burn. How excited are you for Cyberpunk?
I'm pretty excited. I'm a big fan of The Witcher, so I don't think CD Projekt Red could do any wrong. The Witcher 3 was a masterpiece, pretty much acclaimed by everyone. So
I don't know. I might have to disagree with you on one aspect.
I can understand why.
No, not The Witcher. I think your statement when you said I don't think CD Projekt Red could do any wrong, because as we've been proven recently, more in the past decade, is that video game companies have now more than ever been disappointing people.
Yeah, but
so you never know what's going to happen. I feel like you can't. It's hard for me, at least, to say that in confidence that you're going to get a good quality game out of every company, just proven by EA. Because before the whole pay to play kind of thing was starting, EA was very solid in the games they would make.
Yeah,
and then it just went downhill. And EA was one of those companies that could do no wrong for a time. So you never know. But yeah, I'm hyped. I'm so hyped for Cyberpunk. The game looks great.
Speaking of EA, I played Medal of Honor a little bit.
The new one?
No, there's no new Medal of Honor.
Yeah, there was one that came out like 2012.
The newest one came out before Call of Duty.
No, the OG Medal of Honor, the best Medal of Honor. Medal of Honor Frontline.
I haven't really played any of the Medal of Honors.
That was one of the first shooters for PS2.
Really?
There's also... I also memorized the cheat codes for that game, but you got all this extra stuff, and it's like when the guys that made Medal of Honor Frontline were like basics with EA, but they still cracked jokes with EA because it's just like, well, we couldn't originally fight in France, but that because of the Eiffel Tower. But when EA bought the Eiffel Tower, we were able to get like a smooth transition into France for the missions. It's just like they're fucking ripping on EA from like 20 years ago. It's so funny to me. They have no idea.
Good old
sports. It's only a game. Why do you have to be mad?
So, my biggest takeaway from E3 was definitely the fire that Nintendo brought.
Yeah, Nintendo won E3 in my opinion.
I personally, I think Microsoft and Square Enix did a good job, but I don't know. I can't say Nintendo won because I'm not that huge of a Nintendo fan. Okay. I love Nintendo, don't get me wrong, but if I sat down to play a game for 5 hours, it wouldn't be a Nintendo game. I just can't get involved with those characters like that. And I guess it's just because of the generation that I play. Like I wasn't raised on the platformers and Mario and all that. Mm-hmm. It's funny that I love those games a lot, but I would rather play Spider-Man on PS4 than like Breath of the Wild.
Yeah,
I respect Nintendo's classics. I was raised on the N64.
Same here, yeah.
Same. I was mostly raised. It was between the N64
which I wanted
GameCube
to play
and stuff.
Banjo-Kazooie yesterday.
Oh yeah.
And yeah, I realized my AV cord for Nintendo's fucked up. But apparently on Amazon, if you have a problem with that, it's like $6.
Yeah, it's not. AV cords are really outdated now because
but for
HDMI.
Yeah, but it's just like a random N64 Nintendo AV was just like for $6 was like astounding to me.
Yeah.
Did you buy it?
Yeah, of course I did. It's coming tomorrow.
Speaking of retro kicks, I know you guys are against emulators.
Wait, why would I be against
think it's
emulators?
good to emulate a game if you already have the game on other mediums.
Well, you guys kind of skeeved when I talked about emulators before.
Wait, when?
This was like episode 1 or 2. You definitely did, because I remember. Anyway.
Well, last time I tried to emulate an old game, I had to pay $200 to debug my laptop. So that's why I'm always weary of getting emulators on my computer.
Anyway,
Shout out to Backyard Baseball.
So I've been on a Godzilla kick recently.
I love that game.
Since Godzilla King of the Monsters. Also, that was a pretty okay movie. I saw that released while we were gone.
It didn't have enough people drama though. I couldn't like it because it didn't have enough human drama.
Nobody watches Godzilla for the people.
I'm finally glad
awful.
Rotten Tomatoes gets shit for that.
The cast.
Rotten Tomatoes did not know their audience.
You don't watch Godzilla movies for the drama.
Yeah, you did. I watched Godzilla 2001 for Matthew Broderick. I thought he was the best part of that movie.
That wasn't 2001. That was like 1999.
All right, I'm 2 years off.
Well, because there's a Godzilla 2000 that's Japan.
Okay,
that's
Godzilla 99 with Matthew Broderick. I watched it because there was so much drama. Like, will he won't get in touch with that other reporter? Will they not have a romance? Will they not get married?
You're the only one.
And then Godzilla came up and just ruined the whole fucking thing.
You were the only one that was wondering that, weren't you?
A little bit.
I watched a video essay about Godzilla 1990 or whatever it was.
99.
I think it actually might have been later.
God damn it, I'm going to have to look it up.
2001. Monty was right all along.
It wasn't. It definitely wasn't 2001. But in like the person that did this video essay about it was approaching the movie like it wasn't a Godzilla movie, because he was like, the movie is a pretty solid monster movie.
We're both wrong. 98.
I was closer. I said might have been later, so...
No, we're both wrong.
Anyway, and they approached it as if like it wasn't a Godzilla movie, because in all seriousness, the movie wasn't a Godzilla movie other than it being called Godzilla.
What, the new one?
No, the Matthew Broderick one.
Yeah, no,
the new one was definitely a Godzilla movie.
No, it wasn't. It wasn't at all. From what I remember, I've actually seen that movie more than once.
I watched it a few times as a kid, so I have like nostalgic value.
Well, I also like the French actor that's in that. Leon, he's from Leon the Professional.
He was in Pink Panther.
Yeah,
with Steve Martin.
Let's backtrack a little bit and continue talking about E3.
Yeah, we went. Well, anyway, what I was saying is that I downloaded a GameCube emulator. I've been playing Godzilla, Destroy All Monsters. I don't know if you guys ever played those games.
Yeah,
I have like a vague memory of playing.
It's a Godzilla fighting game. It's a lot of fun. Anyway, okay, back to E3.
So.
3.
One thing I noticed as well is that Square Enix is getting a lot of mixed reviews about the Avengers trailer they put out.
I think we should. Cap's obviously not dead.
No, it's not. No, it's not that. The best thing that can sum it up is just like you captured all their stunt doubles from Spaceballs.
Exactly.
You see that?
I saw that. That was funny.
So generic.
Exactly. Like, I'm surprised Ultimate Alliance has better character modeling than that has right now.
I get paying like the actual voice actors would be an issue, but I'm just like... Yeah.
Well, you can tell they try to be as close to the MCU as possible without being close to the MCU.
I think it was like, well, how can we do this to recognize that they're in the MCU by completely avoiding the fact that they were in the MCU? Yeah. I think they're doing it like... I don't know, back to the roots of like Marvel comics and games and trying to go from there, not the MCU.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
I'll be excited for it. I mean, yeah,
I think they're trying to bring it back down to earth a little bit.
I'm sure it's going to be like bearded Cap doing something.
I just wish it was open world. That would have been cool.
Someone replaced the mechanic of...
Lego Avengers was open world.
Hmm?
The Lego Avengers game?
Yeah. Those games are actually
I fucking loved Lego Marvel. I might download that again.
I didn't play too much of it. I think my nephew might have had it, because I might have played it with him.
My buddy Jeremy had that like 100%ed, so we would have this game of just like, once you do open world Manhattan, you can just fuck around it.
Yeah.
So we invented this game called Ant-Man and the Hulk. So I or Jeremy would morph into Ant-Man and just try to run around and hide in Manhattan. And the fucking Hulk would have to try to find you.
That's funny.
Dude, it was so fun.
That's pretty
fun.
great.
That's funny as hell.
It's almost like how all Red Dead players have to figure out something else to entertain themselves other than the actual game.
I've been replaying
Like
and
throwing axes?
Yeah.
you can insult me all you want. I do like Reddit online when I don't have to deal with other people.
Good point.
Like I'm doing like the. Oh, I'm sorry.
Yeah,
we're segueing pretty bad.
We're going all over the place. It's like we're watching.
I want to stick with E3 a little bit more. I also noticed Square Enix did a lot of JRPG announcements, which is okay, because that's the main crowd they appeal to. But I could have swore every Final Fantasy to me just kind of hit me. And
Final Fantasy is completely over my head.
To me, it hit me in the head and it slipped right off. They started off really strong by announcing Final Fantasy VII Remake, and that game looks absolutely gorgeous. This is coming from somebody who's the only RPG I've ever played was Pokemon. So
you probably have played more than
in that standard turn-based RPGs.
JRPGs,
yeah. It's turn-based RPGs. Like Fire Emblem doesn't count. That's more of a strategy game.
Yeah, I guess.
So, I played Fire Emblem, but otherwise, like, the only other RPGs I've played are action RPGs. So, more Americanized style of them, more hands-on.
I mean, Skyrim.
Exactly. So, what gets me is that Square Enix literally won. A lot of people say Square Enix won E3 just announcing the same genre game over and over again. And I kind of have a problem with that because, you have, like I said, Nintendo announced a plethora of games. Microsoft announced a plethora of games. And that's where I'm going to stop it because I don't want to talk about it, Bethesda and Ubisoft, unless it's something negative. Because
I will defend Bethesda with Doom.
Doom Eternal. Yeah, you're right. Doom Eternal looks phenomenal.
Doom looks fucking awesome.
Excuse both of you. Dude. Okay.
Okay.
Dude.
Oh.
Dude.
I thought you said Duke, as in you were trying to make a Duke Nukem reference. And I was like, I guess that's kind of like Doom, but like not.
Yeah.
Okay. Anyway, go ahead.
But so what? I lost my train of thought. However, I'm sure I was editing. I was sure I was heading to the point to say that Square Enix just is doing nothing for me personally, because it was just more of the same from beginning to end.
Yeah.
Like Collections of Mana. To me, as a person who doesn't play Final Fantasy or any JRPG, they all look the same to me. They all look turn-based. You hit somebody with a sword. Your female character has oversized breasts. It just all looks the same to me. So it's a shame because these games are considered masterpieces by so many fans.
Yeah.
But I feel like... And I hope people can prove me wrong. I want to come around to this. I bought Final Fantasy VII Remastered on the Switch. I'm going to play it.
I'm on the same page, though. Because it's just like Square Enix is... We watched it together, didn't we?
Yeah, we all watched it.
We were bored because we all wanted to fucking see
Exactly,
Avengers.
and we just kept... we were cheering every time there was a new Final Fantasy game for the lulz.
Yeah.
Like, it was just getting old
I
after
could
a while.
stare at this slow-mo action all day because I love it so much. And it's just like, dude, shut up.
But then you look at Microsoft's E3 presentation, and they had so much of a variety of games. They had new platformers, especially since now they own all these indie studios and they help publish them. There's so much Microsoft's heading in, but yet everybody wants to overlook Square Enix because the viewership of E3 is ironically tied to the exact demographic that play JRPGs, from what I've noticed. But that's just my thoughts on the subject. I want to see what you guys think on that whole E3 takeaway.
The dog was the highlight, and Keanu Reeves.
Yeah. The low light, definitely. And a lot of people thought this was a highlight too, but my low light is Ubisoft announcing Just Dance 2020 or 2019, whatever it was, for the Wii.
Yeah, that's odd. But then I reconsidered the fact that there are not any more like real motion control games. And I mean the Switch But
it's getting released for the Switch too.
Yeah,
that's the thing. But the thing with Just Dance, the more and more I rationalize it in my head,
I forgot Just Dance was.
Yeah, the more and more I rationalize it in my head, I'm like, wait, how many people that were teenagers when this game came out? It's obviously got a cult following if they keep doing it.
You got to understand though.
How many kids have?
It's not even
households that have Wiis. Like, how many people in general that are adults that play this game drunk?
My nephew's 8. He's going to be 9 in August, and I guarantee he doesn't even know what the fuck a Wii is.
No?
Like,
well, here's my theory, because it's just like other continents other than ours still actively use Wiis, and that's why I think Just Dance is still getting released.
And another thing, I kind of want to go...
finally shut down their servers, 2 years ago?
Yeah.
The last game that was released for PS2 was 3.
Really?
Mm-hmm.
3 or 4.
Yeah. One thing I do want to mention is I want to do a little bit of EA here. I'm not going to let EA totally off the hook because I know we haven't mentioned them yet in this E3
what do you
discussion.
Mean we never let EA off the hook because we fucking hate them.
But that's why I'm going to go out and here. Once again, they did something, but with something I couldn't imagine with FIFA. So FIFA 20 on the Switch is going to only have a roster update. To my knowledge, it's going to be the same engine.
You mean it's the same thing they've been doing for the past 5 years?
So
however,
every other sport
it's only
game
going to have the play now.
But it's only not every other sports game. I'm sorry for interrupting, Sisto.
It's fine.
But it's just like every other sports game. Just FIFA's the only one that is notorious for getting caught doing it. I mean, Madden always comes out with new stuff.
Yeah.
But FIFA's notoriously bad for it. I am sorry.
The mechanics get better and better. I've played the FIFAs. I like them a lot. But I think it's a lot. There's a lot of things that people buy FIFA for, like Ultimate Team and the season modes and the creative player modes. But they're taking that out too. They're going to give you a bare bones version of the game for the Switch, like a bare bones port, which you can just play now with all the rosters worldwide, which is still a pretty good game. But for $60, would you buy that game for the Switch or would you buy it for the Xbox One or PS4 Pro?
It doesn't matter. I wouldn't buy that game. Period.
Well, I know. No, yeah.
Well,
theoretically, no, I wouldn't buy that for the Switch. It's the same as buying The Witcher for the Switch.
Exactly. Well, I wouldn't compare the two.
Well, I mean,
you're not getting a visual marvel in FIFA. Sure, you're getting good graphics, especially if you're playing in 4K. But you're not. The Witcher is very graphically intensive, but with the way ports have been being done on the Switch, I think The Witcher has a good chance of being a half decent game. It's all you don't buy a Switch for the beautiful pixel quality. It runs, I think, max 1080p and 720p in handheld. No, 540.
The Switch isn't about the Switch isn't about graphics at all. It's about. It is about the portability and the convenience of it.
Exactly.
And it's funny because props to Nintendo for... I mean, I think I've noted it before.
Yeah.
Any other company would have dropped after Wii U. I mean, there hasn't been an answer to PSP. PSP was a failed thing and it stopped.
I disagree.
Well, there's PS...
First one did well.
Yeah, and then there was the
PS
Vita.
Vita was terrible.
The Vita was terrible, but then they stopped. Nintendo just kept trying, and then the Switch was their success.
A lot of people realized that their main focus, their main claim to fame was handheld. Well, obviously their consoles were big, but handhelds were a big thing for them too. And I think when they merged them together in an actual way, because I mean they're kind of getting to it with the Wii U, with the tablet that they had.
That was their main goal. Yeah. The Wii U was rushed because they didn't have something to compete with Xbox One and PlayStation 4. So they were planning for the Switch, but what they had at the time was we have this idea for the Wii U. Let's just put it out. Yeah. That's what a lot of people are saying. What they think happened with Nintendo is that's why they released the Wii U and it was such a big failure because they weren't quite where they wanted to have the technology at. It still sold, not very well. But to backtrack a little bit, the PSP was really popular because of its ability to emulate. Yeah. You can have massive emulators on it. You play almost anything on it.
Shout out for my brother because I watched the first season of Jackass on PSP. Because
exactly. And you can watch video.
That was the one movie. That was like the one film thing he had on PSP, and I always borrowed it because I love to watch Jackass.
You still do. You made us watch them all in Marks.
No, the first season of the show. Yeah, of course I made you guys watch it.
Well, I've seen them already, so
it's revenge for all the cringe shit you always post. Show.
True.
All right, you guys have anything else you want to say on E3?
You're breathtaking.
You're breathtaking. But I heard that guy was a dick. Like he actually demanded money or something.
Well, I saw the Twitter feed where it's just like, actually, can you just donate a lot of money to this charity?
Is that what it was?
Yeah, that's what it was.
Because I heard someone say that he demanded money.
No. Well, he demanded money for a personal charity he was doing. I think that was it.
It's a lot less bad than I thought.
Yeah, it's a lot less of a dick move. I just think it was just like, I'm sorry. I was just like, yeah, charities, and it's like, hey, can you donate this money to charity? But can I still get the game? Can I still get that edition you were gonna give me?
Yeah. Whatever.
Honestly, Keanu calling me breathtaking is enough.
Yeah, then that's an icebreaker I have for the rest of my life. Then.
Yeah, that meme's gonna live on for a while.
Well, it's not even you're breathtaking now. It's Tiny Keanu is apparently taking over now. There's just shrunken Keanu.
Me waiting for my mom to get off the phone to tell her that I shit my pants.
Jesus Christ.
Yeah, so E3 2019 is come and gone.
Cannot wait for 2020 where it's even more cringy.
Yeah, there's a YouTuber, I wish I remembered his name, that makes cringe compilations of every big gaming conference.
Sony's in December, right?
Is it?
Yeah.
Yeah. But anyway, and his 2019 one was pretty good. So, anyway, we're going to move on to... So, I've discovered a Reddit post on Ask Reddit, which is one of my favorite subreddits. Just because it gives me hours of stuff to look at.
I like our potato salad.
What is it?
Our potato salad.
I'll get to that. Anyway, so they had a post on r/Ask Reddit of what are the strangest subreddits that you have ever encountered.
Yeah, this is it.
And there are some good ones. My subscription count on Reddit had skyrocketed after this because it was fucking awesome. Anyway, so I made a list of 10 weird subreddits. They're not in particular order. They're just ones that I found that were fucking hilarious. So at number 10, I have r/I'm sorry, John. So you know that meme that was going around of the corrupted Garfield, becoming an international being.
I would get chills watching that.
That's what this entire subreddit's about: is people making fan art of Garfield being this horrible monster, just
like
haunting John,
like something out of The Thing.
Yeah. And and I found another subreddit today called I'm really sorry, John, which is, it's all not safe for work Garfield fan art.
These are the people I associate with.
Yeah, I mean, I'm
associated with you now.
Well, they're they're not videos, they're fan art of Garfield being a parasite and impregnating John, and it's fucked up, but it's and this all came out from this one artist just making a joke of just Garfield being this interdimensional being. My voice just cracked there. That's how excited I am. But it's just nuts that this subreddit has a few thousand people on it now, just completely just uploading artwork and stuff. It's crazy. Yeah. Nothing from you guys.
No,
no
one.
Takeaways.
Next one.
Okay. How what?
Did you stumble upon it?
I told you. Was it? So it was a.
My next.
If you already said it, I'll just listen to the podcast.
My next cover photo is both of us face palming and you smiling.
That's what this podcast is, really. That's one of the reasons I wanted to make it, is just so we can all you guys could just sit here and wonder why we ever became friends.
When you get on a roll,
hey, Mike,
when you get on a roll, that's all we think about.
Yeah.
I had 3 people ask me. It was like, what is iCarly and why didn't Mike have a dream?
Yeah. Like, I sit here talk about FIFA. Like, FIFA this, that, FIFA that. Red Dead Redemption. So Mike's over here.
Red Dead Redemption, yeehaw.
Yeah. So, I found this Reddit post the other day where Garfield was fucking a parasite into John.
No, it's
And
not
it
that.
was
He
fucking
is a parasite.
No,
and
Garfield is a parasite fucking John. Get it right.
Listen here.
I get kicked out of our group chat at least 3 times a week.
By me.
That's the sad part.
By
It's
me,
3 times.
because it's well-deserved.
3 times.
To the point that your girlfriend had to put in regulations of just like, look, I can't keep adding him.
I found a
your bans.
Thanos copy pasta of this guy making measurements of how big Thanos' dick is.
And you did it 5 fucking times.
The funny thing is that wasn't the entire thing. Facebook cut me off. It was like 10 paragraphs long. Anyway, to continue.
Freaking copy pastas.
So, number 9, I have r/chairs underwater. I think you guys can kind of guess what that's about.
Oh, I have a guess. Women fucking guys with cucumbers.
No. They're just photos.
Jesus
of chairs
Christ.
Underwater. See, you would think the one that has like the most literal title would be the one that would actually be the most like curveball of all.
Yeah, maybe.
Yeah.
But I was wrong. I swung and missed, guys. Sorry. It's really weird.
Yeah, it's just it's intense. It's just chairs underwater. Just chairs in pools. Chairs in lakes.
So how's that weird?
It's not a
It's
weird
an entire
ranking. It's just
subreddit dedicated to chairs underwater.
That's not necessarily weird.
I mean, there's an aesthetic there I can understand.
Yeah.
Okay,
what if it's a nice design? What would be really weird if it was a nice Victoria era centerpiece chair that was sat on by the queen herself, and it's just somebody throwing it into the bottom of the ocean. That's weird.
So this is gonna find like that nice dining room chair that he used to sit in. It's gonna be under the water.
That my mom told me never to sell.
Yeah.
Fine.
Like,
so if
gone.
If you don't think that's weird, what do you think about r/bread stapled to trees? Do you want to guess what that's about?
Do tell. Yeah.
There are people posting about the type of bread they're stapling. Like, they'll be like pumpernickels stapled to an oak. Munch is having a heart attack right now. And there's a subreddit, I forget what it is, but it's basically just moderators of subreddits coming together to post all the funny reports they have. And there was one from r/bread stapled to trees, like someone stapled a piece of bread to an electrical post. And it was like, not an actual tree. Please remove.
Pumpernickel on oak.
But that's all what this is about.
I definitely got to take that list and subscribe to some of these on Reddit.
Yeah,
I subscribe to some of them.
So at number 8, r/bread stapled to trees, that wasn't even on here. That was a little extra I threw in there.
Come on.
Because that's I had that at number 6, so I just spoiled number 6 to you guys. I'm sorry about that. But anyway, so at number 8, I have r/ooer, OOER. It's one of the surreal subreddits where everyone kind of pretends that they know what's going on. And like, it's supposed to be tech support. So they're like, help, I have problems with my E. And like, people are like, have you phoned your grandmother? 7667777. And then like, we'll go into like Zago text, like where the text like starts crawling up the screen and stuff. And it's just, surreal subreddits are really fun because like everything's funny. It's like, have you sucked the water? Like, it's just Anyway, I'm doing a bad verbal representation of what surreal memes are. They're more of a visual medium. So number 7 is a favorite of mine. r/Amish.
Is it just nothing?
This is a subreddit for Amish people to get together, meet, and talk to each other. The only issue is the subreddit is completely blank because the Amish can't use
Technology.
Yeah, technology.
I'll look it up real quick.
No, yeah, it's completely blank. There's nothing there, and I don't think you're even able to post there. Yeah, so Munchie's looking up right now. Yeah, it's blank.
literally just empty.
Someone thought it was like this. I'm gonna make this subreddit.
There's 2 mods. I'm gonna join it.
It's probably just people like removing content from there.
95,000 people
Oh my god.
are on this unpostable Amish.
So number 6, I had r/bread stapled to trees. I said that was self-explanatory. Number 5 is pretty notorious, and it's another one you take it at face value. It's r/dragons fucking cars.
a mode of fictional transportation fucking a mode of real transportation.
So this subreddit is just exactly what you think it is.
How to train your dragon for it?
It's just fan art of dragons fucking cars.
Like the cars from Disney's Cars?
No, like automobiles, like true to life automobiles. But that's
so do you want to keep asking questions to get more vivid details about this?
For the content, man.
I'm not looking it up. I'm going to take your word for it.
However, there have been many subreddits that have spawned off of this subreddit. Well, here's a list of a few of them. Dragons fucking trains. Trains fucking dragons.
Dragons.
Whales fucking boats. Boats fucking whales. And my favorite, and it's safe for work. All the rest are not safe for work because they're all porn. But this one's safe for work. It's fucking dragon cars. Where people are just posting cars that have dragons on them. Like dragon decals or like cars in the shape of dragons.
I do follow a car decal page, which is just like, it's pretty cool seeing the detail of that. I also like what people do on their on their motorcycles too.
Oh my goodness.
But fuel tanks and all that. But
yeah,
changing the subject on a more lighter note.
Number 4, I have r/have we met.
Which is something you said is basically a page for me.
Well, it's a subreddit where people all act like they're neighbors.
Oh yeah.
And they're like all the posts are like, "Hey Jane, can you please turn down your music? My baby's trying to sleep." And like you have to play the role that you're given. Like if you like comment and like someone addresses you as Steve, you have to be Steve. Like, and I post it as someone trying to promote a pyramid scheme to young kids. I made a post talking about when you guys turned like 17 or whatever. Were you guys ever called by Cutco, which is the pyramid scheme?
When I was trying to find for work in college, I got a job. I called the job interview place that was stapled on a college board.
Yeah.
And I was just like, oh, great, they gave me an interview. Well, the pay sounds good. Just working in an office. And then I saw the brand was Cutco, and I'm just like, no.
Yeah. So Cutco is a MLM, multi-level marketing scheme.
Their knives are actually pretty fucking good, though.
Well, we use Cutco knives.
But I mean, they sell kitchen knives. Anyway, I was pretending to be that on this Have We Met. I've been having a lot of fun on pretending to be a boomer, a baby boomer, because they have a distinct way of how they approach social media.
How much Minion is on that?
It's a lot. It's a lot of Minion. There's a lot of people typing in all caps. Well, not on Have We Met, but I'm in a Facebook group called a group where we all pretend to be boomers.
I had a relative who typed in all caps too, and I did ask, like, why are you typing in all caps? She's like, 'cause I can't see if it's lowercase.
I had a relative who was a boomer.
My dad's a boomer.
My dad's at the tail end of
But,
the boomer
alright,
generation.
moving on.
Anyway, number 3, I have rectal stickers. Anyway, so it's a subreddit.
You can't just hit that with it anyway. You gotta let that one sit and digest with us.
Anyway, it's a subreddit to people post. It's kind of like bread stapled to trees, but it's people putting for rectal use only on random objects.
Just somebody with a KitchenAid.
Yeah.
The KitchenAid for rectal use only. That doesn't even work. That's funny.
Yeah,
That's funny.
that's what this subreddit is.
I find
I have
immense
rectal
humor in that one, actually. I like that.
I was like, I have rectal stickers.
Yeah, and that's just what it is.
Jesus Christ.
Number 2 is r/rate my poop. I'm just gonna let
Self-explanatory.
that digest a bit.
Is
Well, kinda like
number
poop.
1 what I think it is?
Okay, so obviously you guys kind of grasped onto what r/rate my poop is.
Yes, we don't need to know more.
Okay, so number 1 is a twofer.
Yeah, I know. I follow both.
r/potato salad.
Oh, let me guess.
And
R/John Cena?
r/John Cena.
Oh my god.
So r/potato salad is in a subreddit of people posting photos of John Cena, and r/John Cena is a subreddit of people posting photos of potato salad.
There had to have been like a Reddit war a while ago that just caused that shift.
I know what caused it. May I tell the story? So John Cena likes to post pictures on Instagram without any captions. So one day he posted a picture of potato salad for like no reason, and it started a Reddit craze.
Actually,
and that's what started it, right?
People were saying that the subreddit was born before that, but
and then he
John
referenced
Cena
it on Instagram.
acknowledged it with the photo of potato salad.
Oh my god!
So Reddit's powerful, man, and we got Josh Brolin to get into the snapping.
Yeah, that was such a great.
That was one of the greatest meme moments, I think.
Our Thanos did nothing wrong.
Yeah. And I remember I sat around with our friend Joe, who was on our
I
Twitch
survived
stream.
the snap.
I did too. Anyway, I sat around with our friend Joe, and there was a live stream of the people being snapped, and we were just sitting there waiting for it to happen. And like Joe got snapped, and I was able to survive. And you actually got a Reddit badge for it if you survived or you died, which was interesting. But anyway, those were my 10 weird subreddits. You guys have any takeaways?
Everybody was just like, go to R in the Soul Stone if you've been snapped.
Yeah. You guys have any takeaways for?
What was the one I laughed at the hardest? Bread stapled to trees.
Trees. I think that one's the one that I'd be most likely to subscribe to if I was active on Reddit.
I'm subscribing to that now.
I'm gonna make
What
another
about chairs
Reddit
underwater?
tonight. I'm gonna make a normal use Reddit.
Dragons fucking cars.
Yeah, that one too.
Okay, so
Over 200,000 members.
yeah,
Moving
it's a
on
pretty
to
popular.
ghouls and aliens, right?
Yeah, so I think we're all
Sisto.
familiar with our friend.
It's just
Yeah.
That appears to be sourdough on a redwood.
What does it say?
my first staple.
Staple?
This one just put a hot dog bun on the tree.
Jesus.
Everyone hates the butt piece, and it's just like the last.
Sort by controversial and see what you pull up.
No!
I want to see if what were the ones that they downvoted.
All time.
Not past week.
Any good ones? Or is it just
First staple, the staple gun malfunctioned, but I still managed to staple on the bread. This fucking thing is mangled.
Superman. It's like the S shit you used to do when you were a kid.
'Twas incredibly moist bread bought that morning for a senior prank on a rye was not properly refrigerated. This is the controversial staple. It's just like a bunch stapled to one tree.
Christ. Anyway, so to move on,
Excuse
I
me,
printed
I
all
apologize.
this on resume paper. I'm pretty upset because I didn't want to use all this paper.
Oh my
Anyway,
god.
it's thick paper. Anyway,
Yeah, I saw you put Dan Aykroyd as a silly goose with no follow-up on your topic.
yeah. So we're all familiar with our good old pal Dan Aykroyd.
I am.
Famous off of Ghostbusters and
Blues
many
Brothers.
Crystal Head Vodka.
Blues Brothers.
Or Crystal Skull.
I'm glad you mentioned that. It's Crystal Skull Vodka. John Tron did a really good video about Dan Aykroyd's
That's
Crystal
how I
Skull
know.
Vodka.
How what is he just posting weird shit?
So anyway, Dan Aykroyd, aside from being in the Ghostbusters
And
him
being a
playing his
Blues Brothers.
him being his
And on
character in the
SNL.
Ghostbusters, you might think that might have been a character. But there's a really good chance that character was more true to life to Dan Aykroyd than we led on to believe.
Who?
Dan Aykroyd.
So his character in
His
what movie?
character in Ghostbusters might have been more true to Dan Aykroyd's actual personality than he might have led on to believe. So Dan Aykroyd, in a recent interview, it was in May. In this interview, he says he believes aliens are here. They're at Earth. They've been here for years.
And they love
And they
Crystal
want-
Vodka.
To have sex with human women. He said this in an interview.
So aliens are fuckboys at the club?
Yeah.
Or the guys from Jersey Shore?
Yeah, so on top of this, so John Tron did a video about Dan Aykroyd's new venture. It's not really new. He's been doing it for about 10 years now. Of his venture into distillery with Crystal Skull Vodka. And if you ever watched the video to Crystal Skull Vodka, he starts out the video talking about aliens.
Crystal Head.
Crystal Head Vodka. I'm sorry. Crystal Skull was the movie with
Indiana Jones movie with Shia
Kingdom
LaBeouf.
of the Crystal Skull Vodka.
I was thinking, I was like, he really was able to name it that? I was like, damn, I thought it was Crystal Head.
Well, he started the video talking about aliens, ghosts, about the paranormal. He talks about it for about 6 or 7 minutes before he even starts talking about the vodka.
Yeah, I personally didn't even know it was a vodka commercial. I thought it was another video.
Yeah, and he has this on his website. Evidently, the vodka is really good. The bottle's $50 a bottle, but evidently the vodka is pretty good. Dan Aykroyd claims that the vodka is quadruple distilled and 7 times filtered with
It's just water.
yeah. Well, he says it's been filtered through diamonds, which actually are diamonds. He calls them they're called Herkimer diamonds.
Yeah, they're more resemblant of a rhinestone, I
Yeah,
believe, or a cubic
What does that
zirconia.
do, though?
I don't know.
It's a really...
It's whole thing with purity and but
Exactly.
anyway.
When you want to filter stuff, you put it through carbon. That's just how you do it. So,
There's a good
diamond
Mythbusters.
being a form of carbon, and most of the compounds that resemble diamond being carbon-based, it makes sense that it would be a good fit, I guess. I'm no
There's a good
biologist.
Mythbusters episode that's on about... Can you really tell the difference between cheap vodka and high-end vodka?
I saw that video.
You can't.
You can't, no. It's hard. I mean, unless you're a pro and used to tasting high-end vodka versus the cheap stuff, I know you have a palate for it.
Well, it was a different rating, too. It's just like, which one would you prefer personally versus which one do you think is the high-end one? And it was just like, they couldn't tell the high-end one and they preferred the cheap shit.
Mm-hmm. But anyway, so back to Dan Aykroyd believing in aliens. He said this, and I quote, and this is going to be my best Dan Aykroyd impression as I possibly can get.
Oh, boy, here we go.
The proof is going to start dribbling out. The aliens are interested in your ova, your femininity, your reproductive organs, your DNA.
Pre-productive.
Yes, your reproductive organs.
That was really good.
Yeah, I tried.
That was really good.
And according to this article, he also stated, I believe in aliens. I believe some aliens are here to harm us. There are many that come here with nefarious purposes and want to use us as lab rats. And so he's a staunch believer that the aliens are here and they want to have sex with women. Kind of like the reversal of Arnold Schwarzenegger in that one movie where he had sex with the 3-boobed alien. Was that
No, he didn't have sex with a 3-boob alien.
Wasn't it Total Recall?
That's Total Recall. The 3-boobed alien proposed it.
Oh, well, still, whatever. It's the point, but
I don't know why that distinction was important.
Why I wanted to get to this point about Dan Aykroyd believing aliens are here. I've been down this road before about believing in aliens because I did a story for my local college, for the college that I attended, about aliens. I stood on the corner of a street in Philadelphia, asking people if they believed in aliens while wearing alien sunglasses.
Real quick, can we link this video in the description? This way people can.
If I can find it, yeah.
Because I know you posted it on YouTube, didn't you?
It might be on Facebook.
Oh, Facebook.
But anyway, and I've come to find out that a large majority of people do believe in aliens. So I kind of want to get your guys' takes. Do you believe in UFOs? Do you believe that
I don't believe aliens. I don't believe aliens have visited here. I mean, look, my field's in psychology. I can tell you why people believe it. I can see what people see and perceive it, what they want to perceive. But it's my theory is because we have this infinite expanding universe. There is something out there, but they don't know we exist.
Why are you giving the sciencey answer? Because he can't say that he believes in UFOs.
Well, the sciencey answer is that there's something out there that don't believe we exist, and if they could see us, the way seeing a planet works is that if you get an image of a planet that's millions of light years away, you're technically seeing it in the past.
Yeah.
So it's like this theory of every star you see is probably dead.
Well, it's probably dead. There's a chance that it's dead.
There's a good chance that it's dead. That's kind of how that works. So it's kind of just like people are looking at the aliens are looking at dinosaurs right now. Maybe.
Yeah, maybe. If you don't believe they have intergalactic travel.
Look, I've also rewatched Star Trek: The Next Generation again recently, and I'm still watching it, so I'm getting a little nerdy. But look, once we develop warp, that's when the Federation will come out and introduce us. That's when the Federation makes first contact. So get on it.
Go ahead.
I believe that there has to be another organic human, not human per se, but living being made of the same physical aspect that we are. Because if we were created, and this is assuming that we're created via scientific means and not by biblical means.
I mean, we're also carbon-based, yeah.
Yeah. So, given that that's why we're on this world, I think there's a high chance that another planet somewhere else does. As far as what you said, I'm no scientist, so I don't know. I mean, granted, if we see a planet giving off light from that far away, we're seeing light. Technically, that's older.
Like I said, for us to make some form of tangible contact with a planet that far away, we would. I know I'm getting Star Trek. You have to have some way to warp past that point, so it's tangible that you could do it.
Yeah.
Other than that, like I said, we're just looking at dead stars. Not to be downer.
I think there's more people in outer space if science was the way that we were brought about this planet.
See, personally, I think definitely do think that aliens exist. I personally think that during our lifetime we're going to discover proof.
I hope. Oh my god, I would cry. If we did, I would cry.
Was it in the 70s that we launched that shuttle out? That we launched that probe out with
Voyager.
Yeah, we launched Voyager out.
Yeah.
With Mankind imprinted, and I think Chuck Berry's on that.
That movie was the inspiration for the critically acclaimed Adam Sandler movie, Pixels.
Yeah.
Because the aliens found Voyager.
So you think we'll get a probe like that eventually? That's the only way we'll be able to make contact.
If we are going to Mars within the next 10 years.
And there's nothing there but bacteria.
Still, but that's...
There's carbon-based
Bacteria is still life, though. Like, we're not going to find, like, Zeeb Zop from Galorp Galorp. Like, finding, like, single-cell organisms, that's such a huge thing.
No, that is huge. But when people think, oh, we're going to go to Mars and see Martians, it's kind of like that far. What I really loved... I'm sorry. I can just feel a ton of interrupting. I loved the Martian novel. That's based off that was made from. Oh God, not made from. It was the Matt Damon movie. It was made into the Matt Damon movie.
Yeah.
If you really love the scientific aspect of things, and I did love the actual movie, but then I read the book after. The book is so much better because you get all the sciencey details of how somebody can legitimately grow crops on Mars, and I guarantee you once we get onto Mars it's going to be a botanical research element, and a lot of that's based off of real research, hypothetical research about Mars.
I certainly hope that we find proof of fossilization on Mars to see that there was previous life forms.
There's a chance we will, but see,
we'd have to dig.
Well, obviously. Fossilization on Earth was a really specific it was a really specific process for it to happen. I don't know, you probably just read the text that I just received.
I did. Oh no, that's a shame.
What just happened?
I don't want to talk about it. It's private.
No. Anyway, so it's a really intense process that actually it requires water and the different movement of the plates and stuff, and an actual thriving cycle
ecosystem.
Yeah.
And Mars is pretty much dead. It is dead. It's a dead world.
But it was alive at one point.
We think it was.
Well, you have evidence of
doesn't have ice
carved
caps?
out river valleys of there used to be running water.
But there. Mars has ice caps, doesn't it?
Yeah, Mars does have ice caps, and that were receded. So there has been running water there at one point.
We'll see. We're going to be there in the next
There's canals on Mars,
but
we'll be there in the next 10 to 20 years.
We will, because you also got to do you also got to factor in Hohmann transfer. There's only every 5 years that's possible that we have a great transfer window in order to get to Mars. Hohmann transfer. It's how you
Homer
use
Simpson.
It's probably
how
the shortest
you use
distance from A to B.
Well, it's not shortest distance A to B. It's the perfect window where you can safely use gravity in order to transfer it at the right time at the right place. It's a lot of fucking math that I suck at in Kerbal.
A lot of fucking math that a lot of really smart people use.
Supercomputers are needed to use Hohmann transfer.
What was that?
To do Hohmann or Hohmann, I'm going to butcher this, and I'm sorry. You need supercomputers in order to properly calculate 50 million scenarios.
Yeah. I think. Well, first, I think during our lifetime we're definitely going to get an established permanent base on the moon. I think that's a definite thing.
Well, they just announced that. NASA did. Remember the video I sent in the group chat?
That we're going back.
Yeah,
they said,
that's why I think we're going back.
It's possible
because I think I remember the tagline being we're going to finish what we started, something like that.
They also said that with the
John
Big Bang
Madden.
Theory. John Madden. La 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 la. I'm going to order a pizza.
Do you ever play Moonbase Alpha?
So what else did we think about Dan Aykroyd here? No, we just had.
I think Dan Aykroyd's.
Well, I kind of just wanted to talk about you guys.
How much of a nut job he is.
Well, I mean, he is a whack job.
All right, my statement is this: Dan You can go back on tour with Jim Belushi for the Blues Brothers. You guys still sound pretty good. He goes on tour once in a while.
Right.
He gets the old band back together.
Wasn't John Belushi in the Blues Brothers?
Yeah, it was John Belushi first.
Did Jim take over for him?
Jim took over for him in Blues Brothers 2000. I thought it was pretty good.
Did we just?
I thought
move over to Blues Brothers from the Aliens?
No, I thought he sounds pretty good, but it's like, hey, look, just stick to that and come to Jersey and stop talking about aliens.
I don't think that's ever going to stop.
You do you, man. You do you, Dan. Jesus.
Yeah. So that was just my. I just wanted to talk about aliens.
Anyway, from some sickening news and Dan Aykroyd, what he thinks, to some very, very somber news. So NBC is apparently pulling The Office off of Netflix.
In like 2 years.
But
is it 2 years?
Yeah.
Oh.
21. January 21.
But still,
I thought it was more recent.
All right, look. I love The Office.
But that's bad news for Netflix.
I rewatched it a dozen times, but people got to stop flipping out about this, because then they're going to blow huge chunks of money into something that doesn't need to be blown huge chunks of money into. And they've canceled really good, potentially good shows.
Yeah.
Because, and Marvel aside, I mean, they also pulled... Kate actually recommended this to me because it's like the Curious Creations of Christine McConnell. And she actually does like full-on baking tutorials that are like... It's like Bob Ross meets the Addams Family.
What the fuck?
That's basically it, because she does like these creepy Halloween dessert creations. But like
Bob Ross is on Netflix.
The ASMR of like her like making these baking creations, it's kind of like Julia Child.
Mm-hmm.
I thought it was really good, and they pulled it.
Jeez.
And it's just like, okay, yeah, but they threw millions of fucking dollars in order to keep Friends in the office.
Well, I mean, a lot of people buy Netflix to see these old shows that they can't watch anymore.
Hulu.
What?
Hulu doesn't have those shows, though.
Exactly.
Hulu has a decent amount of those shows. I literally bought Hulu for MASH.
See, I always felt that Hulu was for television, and Netflix was more for movies.
Yeah.
But, that's not necessarily the case. Like, Lex and I are rewatching Breaking Bad right now.
Mm-hmm.
What is it for?
I couldn't get into Breaking Bad. I couldn't get past... Everybody says once you get past the first season, it's watchable.
Yeah.
And I couldn't get past the first season.
I didn't like the first season. The first episode's pretty good, with them cooking out in the middle of the...
Well, the first episode's pretty... The first couple episodes are really good, and then it's just like... It's just annoying how stupid everybody else is.
Mm-hmm.
To the point where it's just like, I can't watch the next season.
Well, they're all shitty people, and that's the whole point of the show.
Yeah.
What was the redeemable until like the last few seasons?
Hulu also does... I will say, if we're going to get into that topic, because they're cutting Netflix, I know this is your topic, I'm sorry.
That's fine. We've already lost sight of the main area of the topic.
They're cutting The Office.
Ahead. Keep going.
So, I want to give a shout out to Brianna, because Brianna, my girlfriend, was the person who came up with the idea to put this on the topic agenda for today. But for Netflix in general, I just wanted to segue from The Office leaving Netflix, just going over how much leverage Netflix is going to lose once Disney Plus launches, whatever this NBC Universal launch service is going to be. Hulu obviously taking off. Amazon Prime has some great shows on it. I know Man in the High Castle is really good.
Yeah.
NBC also has a lot of classics.
Jack Ryan is a critically acclaimed.
Speaking of The Office.
So do you think... I think the downfall of Netflix is the fact that companies are starting to realize... I'm sorry. Is it a text? I thought you were... I keep thinking I'm interrupting somebody else's thoughts.
No.
And that's the 5th time I've apologized for that. But
it's fine.
What happened?
I'm not going to talk about it. It's none of my business.
Moving on?
No, keep going.
No, we're going to talk about this.
My theory about this, and when I saw this topic, I realized I wanted to add on to it. I think the downfall of Netflix started with Hulu. Hulu gaining popularity and taking TV shows. But the thing is, though, now the big two are starting to get... I feel like it's because the people are starting to realize that millennials are like quote unquote killing the cable industry because they're going on to these online subscriptions.
That's not true anymore.
Okay, that they're going on to these online subscriptions, but
actually it is true. Go ahead.
That they're going on to these online subscriptions, and companies are realizing that, so they're all creating their own individual streaming services to make an extra fucking buck. So it's just like, are they going to consolidate into one streaming service eventually down the road, or are we just going to have these 50 million streaming services that nobody will individually subscribe to?
I think what's going to happen is we have passed the moment of us having the big streaming services like Netflix, Hulu, Prime. What's going to happen within the next, probably throughout the 2020s, are all these studios and big production companies like NBC Universal, Disney,
Fox.
Which is Disney now owns Hulu. I have no idea why they're I don't know why they're
to eliminate competition.
But anyway, what I think is going to happen is that we're going to have a super saturation of all these different streaming services. We're going to get a shitload of them, and what's going to happen is it's just the free market at work. People are still going to stay with
the big companies.
And
they can do what Hulu does, and this is kind of why I'm kind of glad I got bought out by Disney, because I tried the DC. What's it called? Is it just DC
Universe?
DC Universe. Yeah. I did download the app, but there's no other way to. I can't watch it off app. I kind of want to watch it through Hulu. I want to watch it on my TV, and I can't.
Yeah, no, you're right. I mean, you could connect an HDMI cord to your TV and watch it that way.
That's so much effort, though.
That's true.
Well, what Hulu does and what Amazon Prime does is you can say, hey, do you want to watch HBO? Just add an HBO subscription if you want to. Mm-hmm. Just do that for DC.
Yeah, no,
and hopefully Disney Plus does that, because I hopefully they have a way to get Disney Plus out there.
And it'll just go all back to another form of cable, because now what cable is you add on premium channels.
I will get Disney Plus.
And it's just going to go back to the premium channel cycle once this is all said and done. But it's all going to be via the internet and streaming, and it's not going to be a cable box you add it on yourself via a hub that you can do yourself. Which, I mean, if Comcast
I knew a guy who had 80 Gmail accounts just so he never had to pay for Netflix.
Yeah, but I think that's probably what's going to happen is that I do see someone down the line making a cohesive platform that all these different companies can put their streaming services on then. And then it's going to be something like that. It's going to turn out to be another cable or like another on-demand or whatever.
Yeah.
So basically like Apple TV, but that.
Yeah.
So we're gonna deal with heavy saturation for a while.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, but that's gonna be because it's the new industry that's people are breaking to. Like we just left like the bell curve of like innovation or whatever, or like the new industries where it's like, it starts out with like the forerunners that are just the first ones to break into the industry. Then the big companies are the ones that like they go up on the bell curve, and they're making a lot of profit, they're making a lot of growth. And then a bunch of competition ends more the other side of the bell curve, and then it goes down until everyone moves away to a different product that like the company
I agree
ceases to exist. We're now entering the other half of the bell curve where a shitload of companies are entering this market, and we're going to get saturation to death with these different streaming services. It's just what's going to happen. Netflix killed Homebox at the movie rental stores, and something else down the line within the next 10 years is probably going to kill Netflix if Netflix doesn't
adapt.
I can
see
if
Blockbuster had the opportunity to adapt to what Netflix was doing, and the executives decided not to. So it's all about noticing that next big trend.
They definitely tried, because I remember
Blockbuster did attempt an online streaming service that was so poorly done.
Because it was rushed, because they knew they were running out of runway.
But, so that's, if anything, you know, down the line when we're, you know, watching 2.5 Men on our fucking hollow TVs, well, you know, we get to see all the lines on Charlie Sheen's cracked out face. And, you know, something down the line is going to kill Netflix. It's just how it works. You know, if anything, I see Netflix becoming more of a production company, and they're now just starting to do this where they're releasing their produced movies into theaters.
Netflix has, like, Oscar-nominated movies.
Yeah.
So does Prime.
What was the one that just won? The black and white film that was Spanish.
Oh.
No, Italian.
Was it Italian? Roma. Yes. But that was Netflix.
Yeah.
I think that was their first Oscar.
Don't forget the other Oscar nomination.
No.
Ballad of Buster Scruggs.
I would pay so much money to delete that movie from my memory. That movie was terrible.
Oh boy, we're getting into
so bad.
We're getting into that part of the episode where Monty
get out of my ear, right? I have headphones on. Get out of my ear. Nope. Don't make me put on my AirPods. I'll put on my AirPods.
Oh shit, he has AirPods.
So speaking of me getting angry, I want to take this time to move into the next topic. And this is a new segment I want to start. It's called Fits of Rage. And this is just going to detail some video games that I believe are not beneficial to people with anger problems or to people that...
Do we know anybody with like that?
You might.
I can name 3 off the bat.
Marcucci, do you know anybody like that?
I can name 3 off the bat.
I don't know anybody like that.
Yeah. So I'm a rager. If you knew me, you know that there are moments in time where I do get unhinged playing video games. And that's why I wanted to start the segment, because I do find comedy. I find so much laughter and so much happiness in seeing other people get mad at a video game. But feeling myself getting angry at a video game, it just gets so bad.
And we all get scared and quiet.
And what better game to start off with that gets so many people mad? Super Smash Brothers.
Alright, so are you going to talk about what happened one time?
You can tell the story, because you always tell it better than I do.
So I'm a dick when I play with Kirby sometimes, and I actually didn't know. I know you got upset, but I didn't know you got mad with video games. So I kind of ate Sisto and jumped off the cliff.
How many times?
So Sisto just drops the controller and just barrels at me and tackles me and knocks me over the chair.
Meanwhile, this was at our friend Mark's house.
And Mark got like deadpan serious of just like, yo, what's going on? And we just like got dead silent.
Oh no, I stopped.
My legs are in the air and I'm like crying because of how fucking funny it was that you just...
I think, if I recall correctly, I don't remember running over to you.
You ran over to me.
I ran.
Maybe because I saw it in slow motion.
What I remember is going over, pushing you, realizing that, shit, why am I over here? I better not punch him. Because
I didn't know you were going to punch me. I thought it was
exactly.
Like... You were like that and then knocked me over.
Because I got up like I was going to do something. I was like, well, I can't fucking punch him. That wouldn't help anything. I'd get kicked out of my friend's house. So I decided, and then I was like, well, if I tickle him, that'd be weird. So now I'm in this weird thing.
Like
now I'm mad.
This mental checklist. Punch.
The common ground you had was to push him off the chair.
I'm up. I'm 1, mad. 2, carrying momentum. 3, remorseful. So these 3 culminate into me just one swift push. Like out of the Matrix or Avengers when Hulk leaves the outer body in Endgame. So I stop, push him over. The chair falls back. At this point, I'm like stunned. I'm like, oh my god. And Mark's like, hey! I was like, shit!
I didn't hear that tone. I didn't hear that hey.
Oh no, he was mad.
Yeah, everybody was like, what the fuck? I didn't realize everybody got deadpan silent and was like, what the fuck just happened?
And then I immediately stopped. And I'm like, oh my god.
on my back.
Once that chair fell over, I'm like, oh my God, are you okay? And I turn her. Before he can even answer, I'm like, Mark, I am so sorry. That's not how I planned it to go. I was just going over. I started making excuses for myself. I was like, I'm sorry, man. Like, I didn't plan on hurting him. I just kind of ran too fast.
So I couldn't say everything's fine.
This is the stuff that comes into play when you play Super Smash Brothers. There are so many cheap mechanics in this game.
We never played Mario Party together.
We have. I won.
I haven't. Not me.
It was Mokuchi. We played Mario Party at Mark's house, and I won. Yeah, I was like, hey, Mark, hey, Mike, guess what? And they were like, what? It's like, you fucking suck at Mario Party because I won.
Yeah,
I'm the biggest taunt when I actually get my way. Yeah. But yeah, fits of rage. So, yeah, along with that story, I can just imagine all the things that frustrate people about this game. Like the frustrating mechanics of gravity, to name one.
Man, if I can tell you a story about gravity, how much I fucking hate it.
Yeah?
Yeah. Okay. You were just...
Got him.
Do you ever just want to float away?
No, but in the Super Smash Brothers...
Do you ever feel like a plastic bag?
Oh my God.
Sometimes
I want to witness a fit of rage right now.
My next topic is actually seeing how far I can get you aggravated.
Okay, you've been doing a good job. I'm just kidding. Anyway, but yeah, its gravity mechanic is fucking broken for some characters. I remember playing Melee, fucking Roy. Oh my God. Roy was like a fucking brick.
Roy,
yeah.
Roy who?
From Smash. Melee. I fucking hate you. Oh my God.
I thought it was Roy, like...
You're such a nudge.
Like Roy the guy. I legitimately does. I was just like, oh, Roy? Like, no.
And then Meta Knight and Brawl going against him, overpowered, god tier character.
Little Mac pisses me off to play.
Little Mac with the punch.
Well, it's not even
Luigi in his side smash, the little like serve you kind of thing.
The jab.
I remember the jab, the palm jab. I remember getting hit literally by the edge of the fingertip by I think Dan or one of our friends Dan, and I went nuts. I was like, "Are you fucking kidding me? Like it's bullshit." And then obviously I went into a fit of rage, and I'm like, this is fucking bullshit. I'm not playing this game ever again. I'm going home. There was one time where I got so mad at playing this game. I was like, guys, put my friend's controller down. I was like, guys, I'll be dead honest with you. I gotta go home. I can't play this game anymore with you guys. It's not my day. I'm getting really mad. And I've evolved. I'm not that much of a rage monster anymore, but yeah. Leave in the comments down below some of the most infuriating parts of Super Smash Brothers. I want to continue this segment more and more as we go on. Maybe every podcast.
Maybe that's Twitch streaming ideas is to get you to play games that frustrate you.
We could try that. We'll try that. I would definitely be down for that.
Like Unfair Mario or something like that. And
be like Rage Quit by Rooster Teeth, but a little bit.
Yeah. There's
This Michael will not hold back.
There's a Mario 64 mod for a ROM hack where whoever made it just like set different properties to different things. Like certain doors will blow you up for opening it, and like you immediately die. And like it's unfair Mario. I watched one streamer do it. One of my favorite streamers, Vinesauce Joel, Varg Skeletor, or Exit the Vatican, I think is.
Yeah. So let us know in the comments if you want to either see that as a stream idea, and then just give us some other games that infuriate you, or some other mechanics about Smash that just tick you off, and we'll look into them and we'll keep going over it. But yeah, definitely, and then we'll share some stories if we have them, because that Smash Brothers is the first that comes to mind, because it's a fun game to play, but it's so rage-inducing. It's so easy to get mad playing the game because it's either you're really good at it or you're not going to win. It's if there's somebody who's really better than you at that game, you're not going to beat them.
Yeah, we are friends with some people that get into the real deep meta of the game.
Mm-hmm. And that made us better to an extent. Like, it made me better at the game playing with guys like Nick, Chase, and...
Well, yeah, I mean, those are the ones that legitimately, like, go to, like, cons and stuff and tournaments. Like, I play Smash really casually. Like, I know I'm not the best player, and like sometimes, like my main now is Simon from Castlevania.
Yeah,
and,
Richter's one of my mains.
Yeah, and that's that's all I play, and like I'm not the best. Mm-hmm. I'm always
just have fun with it.
Yeah,
that's what I've learned.
I'm like third place normally. That's what I'm at, but. What are you doing there? Is that Kirby?
Yes. So moving over to some sad stuff to some really, really interestingly sad stuff.
Are you going on the box office flops?
We haven't talked about box office
in a while.
So I feel like I wanted to open it up. This was one of my points that I wanted to do is I wanted to open up to some more box office discussion. I wanted to go over for this week's top 5. This is June 21st to 27th. This might be a little dated once we post this, but it's still a good benchmark to see what movies are doing well. I think Mike would agree here. It's still a good benchmark to go by.
Yeah, I mean this is this weekend's movies.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So I want to give the quick 1 to 5. The quick 1 to 5 and see what your thoughts are. So number 1 we have Toy Story 4 grossing $178 million.
I saw it. I know Sisto saw it. Manji didn't. We were going to talk about it. But first I kind of wanted to talk about something real quick. I know this is a bit off, but I went through 2 emotional traumatizing experiences in this week. So first was Toy Story.
I was about to say, what happened in Mexico?
Well, no. So so Toy Story, I saw it yesterday with Lex. Lex was crying within the first 5 minutes. Lex is a movie crier.
The intro's pretty heavy.
And she immediately just let go.
Did Thanos kill Woody?
Yeah. Woody's returning in Endgame. And like at the end, like you could hear like when the audio dipped down for a bit, like it was quiet. You could hear people crying, like they just watched their family get shot, like hysterically. Like
it's sad. It was a movie that took you through roller coasters and through motions. It was such a well done movie.
Can you say I just felt something tug me?
It was a very well done movie. Pixar. I think this one was even better than Toy Story 3. I think 4 was better than 3.
I haven't seen many of the Toy Stories. My nephew lives with me, and so I was around when he was, he was around my house since he's been born.
Yeah.
So he went through a Toy Story phase, and the last time I watched Toy Story was with him, and he was like 4. He's turning 9 in August, so I haven't seen it in, that many years.
Yeah. So the number 2 movie was Aladdin, dropping down.
I wanted to say my other traumatic experience, so I didn't just lead people astray. I finished the game Life is Strange. I don't know if you guys have played
it.
Season 2?
No, the first one. First one was pretty good.
Was it upsetting?
Yeah. So the game is heavily on your choices. It was great up until the final choice because it had I'm not going to spoil too much, but it had a Mass Effect feeling to it where all your choices in the last 12 hours of gameplay meant nothing because now it only relies on this point. The ending is now just relying on your 2 choices at the end. So everything that you did over the course of the game really didn't mean anything at all. And I just was upset about it. But
it went from being a David Cage style game where everything matters up until the end to Mass Effect Andromeda where nothing
well, not Mass Effect Andromeda, Mass Effect 3. Mass Effect 3 had an infamous ending where Shepard's on the he confronts some ghost. I haven't played
where
Mass
everyone dies.
Well, so the ending is, you choose the ending, which is what this game was. You chose the ending. But ultimately, all the endings would have been there no matter what. So all the choices and all the heavy reliance on your choices throughout the game really meant nothing. And, that works. And this game was based on time travel. So...
Life is Strange?
Yeah. the entire game is the character has the power to rewind time. Sorry, that's my phone.
It's fine.
And so it was one of those, like, you know, if I go back in time and stop this one moment, like, everything in the last week could be completely erased. And that's
so if they don't kill the guy.
Yeah.
Right?
And that's what happened.
Not to change the subject, Endgame did have the best argument of time travel because it's just... They acknowledge how just acknowledge how many time travel theories there are based on cinema. Mm-hmm. And they just created their own just to spite everyone.
Yeah. Anyway, I didn't want to sidetrack too much, but go ahead, Sisto.
I just wanted to go further.
So, Aladdin went from 3 to 2. Yeah, had a little bump up, but Toy Story, obviously the giant there, couldn't keep it. Grossed $21 million.
I would not have called Aladdin being number 2.
Me neither.
Once you see the rest of this list, you might agree. You might think otherwise. Child's Play number 3, 19 million.
I heard good things about it. I actually heard mediocre things. It's sitting at a 60 on Rotten Tomatoes right now.
Can you tell me if this is million or billion? Because if this is the budget's like, oh no, it has an asterisk on it. Never mind. All right, so it doesn't.
But Child's Play, I'm probably going to end up seeing. Probably not going to be seeing it in theaters. Being Chucky's voiced by Mark Hamill.
That's very impressive. It looks like it only had a budget of about $10 million, which is pretty
Horror
interesting.
movies are ridiculously cheap.
9
That's
of that
why
went
they
to
make
Mark.
so much money. What?
Said 9 of that went to Mark.
But Aladdin, guess how much Aladdin's budget appears to be?
It was probably huge because
$183 million.
Yeah.
Toy Story wasn't even released yet, but I can imagine budgets would be amazing for that. Secret Life of Pets 2 in number 4, which that movie actually, I know Secret Life of Pets was pretty good, but it took a huge dip because it was the second highest grossing film before Toy Story came out. So that means it lost 56%.
Just over the last 2 weeks.
Yeah, it lost 56% momentum, basically.
Yeah.
So that's pretty tough if you're a Universal right there. Universal will pretty much always be in Disney's shadow when it comes to any animated film.
The summer is a weird time to release movies because, like, you got to really, strategically plan it because Disney has the 2 top movies right now.
Yeah.
So they didn't have to worry about themselves.
Yeah. And that's Secret Life of Pets 2 was in its 3rd week of release. Yeah. But impressively, Aladdin's was in its 5th week of release, and it's hanging around number 2. It's just because it's a low period in movies. If you're not a Marvel movie or you're not a Disney movie and you're coming out in the summer, it's not really big because a lot of people just release movies around Oscar season. Those are the ones that are worth seeing.
Well, yeah, and we're also reaching the end of the summer blockbuster season because it's only into like the mid of July that summer blockbusters are out. Yeah. I think our last big one is going to be Spider-Man.
Oh, I cannot wait. A few days. Are we going to see that together or no? Would you already get tickets?
Yeah.
I want to.
It comes out on 4th of July.
Brendan already saw it.
July 2nd.
Oh, wow. Okay.
Brendan already saw it because of China.
Yeah. It came out early. Did he like it?
He said he loved it, yeah. Coming up next week, buddy.
Oh, he does?
Yeah.
Oh, I can't wait to meet him.
It sucks that I'm on vacation, but...
I want to meet him.
You're going to see him.
When you have a chance of bringing him around, I want to meet him.
I'll bring you around, buddy.
To round out the top 5, Men in Black International. After its 2nd week.
Oof.
2nd week in theaters, it dropped 60% momentum. Budget of $110 million, it appears.
It made like...
Second week.
It made like $20 million last week.
That is a shame because you think of the star power in this movie. You have Liam Neeson, Chris Hemsworth, and Tessa Thompson right off the bat.
You see, but this movie like
didn't need to happen.
There wasn't a fan base like we need another Men in Black. Like we didn't need another one.
No, Men in Black 3 was a nice little bow.
We needed one with Tommy Lee Jones and Will Smith.
That was the last one. Was like a nice little bow. I mean.
It's a cash grab.
It was an obvious cash grab.
It was sponsored up. It was a heavily sponsored film. So much product placement. If you look at it, they were sponsored up to the watches they wore on the wrists. Hamilton Watch Company was an official sponsor of that movie.
Yeah.
The Hamilton Ventura if you ever want to look up the watch, made famous by Elvis Presley, the Hamilton Ventura, is the sponsor watch of Men in Black International.
Alexander Hamilton invented the watch.
No.
All right, moving on.
Wrong. No, I just want to talk a little bit more about how Rocket Man in its 4th week finally dipped out of the top 5 now.
Thank God that did well.
Yeah, I wanted to see.
I was actually expecting it to do better than it actually did.
Taron Egerton is a good person to watch.
I like him.
Eggsy from Kingsman, one of my favorite new age spy movies.
Its domestic total is $81 million.
Do me a favor and see what Men in Black got last week. I'm curious.
$41 million.
What was their budget?
$60 million. No,
that's bad.
I don't know what their budget was. How can I find? You're probably.
I can look it up.
What?
I can look it up.
Yeah.
We keep going.
Because the budget only has it in hundreds of dollars, so I'm imagining it's just millions. So it looks like it's $110 million budget.
Yeah, 110. So it made $40 million last week. It didn't even make half of its budget.
What's its Metacritic score?
38, 22 on Rotten Tomatoes.
That's a shame. I was excited for that movie too.
Well, so it did. I think the saying in at least with movies is that in order for a movie to consider to be a success is if it makes double of its budget. Mm-hmm. So its budget was ranged from 94 to 110 million. Over the last 2 weeks, it's made 107.1 million. So it's just scraping by.
So I want to actually bring up one thing. So coming in at number 17, The Fall of the American Empire. I believe it's this like weird documentary thing. Looking like it's a little more towards the liberal side of things, just by the cover of it. It's been out since June, like last year. It's been out since last year. It appears to be another theater run. It grossed $688,000, 8,000% change from the week before.
1,000% change?
8,000% change. Just goes to show it's probably one of them Fathom events going on theaters.
I mean, documentaries are weird when they run through theaters because they're usually because that seems like an independent documentary.
Yeah, what the hell was The Dead Don't Die? That was another one I wanted to see because it had Adam Driver.
Oh, a Detective Pikachu still kicking around after 7 weeks too.
I still want to see The Dead Don't Die because it looks like a dry zombie comedy.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, I saw that as Bill Murray in it. Yeah.
It's like one of those very dry, like, one of those dry comedies.
Yeah.
Trying to think of a good example, but Bill Murray was in another one that was like that.
So I just wanted to mention one more thing before we move on. So I know you guys don't really probably didn't pay attention to how Child's Play was marketing its movie.
Mm-hmm.
But it was released on the same day as Toy Story.
That's amazing.
So
I didn't notice that.
All the posters that they released for Child's Play was Chucky killing different
Toy Story characters. That's amazing.
Hold on, I'm gonna pull up some of the posters to show. Posters 2019.
Is it supposed to be a spiritual successor or is it like a remake?
It's a reboot. So there's been two Child's Play movies that have released in the last 5 years that are a continuation of the story that went more back to the horror roots, because Child's Play went from a straight horror movie
to like a comedy
with elements of comedy. It's kind of like what happened with Nightmare on Elm Street, because the same thing happened with it.
Yeah, because Bride of Chucky wasn't even a horror movie. It was just like some dumb comedy.
Bride of Chucky and even Seed of Chucky had scenes of both dolls having sex and stuff. It was a dark comedy and it sucked. But in the last two movies went back to traditional horror, with even incorporating the original actor that played Andy. Both the kid in Child's Play that gets Chucky. His name is Andy.
Mm-hmm.
and Andy is also the kid that has Woody and Buzz.
Mm-hmm.
So that's another funny parallel. But anyway, so here are some of the posters. That's Woody all cut up. There's the dog over a fire being roasted by Chucky. There was other ones too. Here's Buzz.
Did you see it?
I didn't see it. I'm probably gonna wait until it's released.
Yeah.
There's another big horror movie that's coming out that I mentioned to you guys that I want us all to see because I want to see your reactions.
What is it?
It's called Midsommar.
This is the same people who made Hereditary.
It is.
I'm in.
So critic reviews so far. One critic said this movie feels like it was written by Satan. Munchie just rolled his eyes so odd. Like, it was, if he rolled it any harder, he would have heard it over the mic.
Jesus Christ.
You gonna see it with us, Munchie?
No!
Why not? You should get a choose your character review.
Don't look at me. How about this? I can pick one. If I watch this horror movie, you guys gotta watch No Objection to anything I suggest.
That's fine.
As long as it's not Buster Scruggs.
I'll watch anything.
It was gonna be Buster
I'm
Scruggs.
completely for watching anything.
Let me tell you, buddy.
But it releases.
I have it on
It releases in 2 weeks. It releases the second week of July.
Fudge.
So, and I want to be able to talk about it on here because it's receiving a lot of hype. Anyway, so do you want to move on to? I think it's Mungie's topic.
Yeah.
I'll skip the PS5 experience because we talked about it at E3 and nothing's released yet since I've talked about it before.
Okay.
I thought putting that topic in, I would be able to talk about it, but it's just like it's still in like the pipe dream phase where it's just like, yeah, all these amazing things that the PS5 will be able to do. I'm just like, great. I don't buy it yet, but I'll sum up with I know Sisto isn't a fan of it too much. I did start reading War of the Realms main chunk. I'm starting to go into the tie-ins.
I'd be a fan of the writing. The writing is what would be the one thing to draw me in. The thing that turns me away is the art style.
The art style, because what you're telling me about the Amazing Spider-Man,
it looks like wall. Like
I can tell you're not.
Carvings.
I can tell the reason you're not a fan. But Spider-Man's tie-in has a different art style than the actual main story, and I think it's something to more of your liking.
It all depends on who draws it.
I did like. In the Land of the Giants where they have to go to fucking Jotunheim to rescue Thor, and Spider-Man has a magic helm just because Logan was just like, here, wear this. It was like the stupidest fucking thing you could find. They keep making the jokes like, I liked you better when you were dead, because Logan is technically dead. But there's a huge list I'll share on the main story of if you want to be fully immersed into War of the Realms. Here's my take on War of the Realms. It's what Thor the Dark World should have been. Mm-hmm. Because Thor the Dark World introduced Malekith.
Okay.
Yeah.
And nobody remembers that bad guy. Not even the actors remember that bad guy because the movie was that bad. But he's literally like an end world. Like, he's defeated all 8 realms and the one left is like Midgard. Mm-hmm. So they're all fighting for their lives. And Cap literally says, do you want these hands, Malekith? Because you'll catch them. And it's just like, Spider-Man is very classic in that, because everybody's just like, Avengers assemble for Midgard, and then Spider-Man just shouts, New York is for lovers.
See,
and he's just like, I am technically a god now, and like everybody's just telling him.
The one thing that brings me back to reading Spider-Man after all these years is the comedy. No matter who writes it, there's like there has to be some sort of auditioning process as to whoever writes Spider-Man, that if you're in a battle with Spider-Man and you're not having jokes, you're not writing Spider-Man.
You're punching somebody, you have 10 quips, go.
Because the way Nick Spencer, and this is, I guess, is this a nice segue into mine, or did you want to keep going?
I was gonna ask you if you read any Superior Spider-Man where it has Doc Ock Spidey.
I know of it, the run. I've never read the run.
You gotta watch some of it just because
I know that Spidey. It's a great dynamic because Doc Ock starts off as a man who just knows, who realizes that Spider-Man is strong and starts being Spider-Man and realizes that shit, Spider-Man's been pulling punches this whole time.
Yeah, that was the best part where he punches a bad guy and he punches his jaw off and he's just like, he was holding his punches this whole time.
Exactly. And you gotta, because that's where that whole dynamic of with great power comes great responsibility. And that's a dynamic that Doc Ock has to come to terms with over the course of Superior Spider-Man.
Yeah.
To which he does. And
he has a cool catchphrase too.
But what I don't like about Superior Spider-Man is that they, see, whenever they want to reboot a character, they move him to San Francisco. You ever notice that?
There's literally a whole West Coast Avengers, and they have that thing you don't like.
And they're not good. So why
they are good. It was very underrated, but I don't want to get into that argument with you.
I don't know. They're just...
It has a cult
They're too comedic for what they actually are.
Let me tell you this. It was a call following that the run ends, but they actually had... They've had five tie-ins to other things. They're in War of the Realms. West Coast Avengers is in War of the Realms.
Well, I guess they're going to stay there because their solo run did shit.
With Doc Ock Spider-Man.
Okay. Anyway, you have them on the West Coast, which is good, but, I mean, it's just San Francisco. Every time they want to give a character a new start, they're putting them to San Francisco, which, I mean, I guess it's not bad.
I mean, hey, it was a successful run in the 80s. Mm-hmm. That's the reason why they wanted to try to revamp it.
We'll see. We'll see how that keeps going. But yeah, Superior Spider-Man, definitely something I want to keep reading. But my budget's a little tight, so I'm sticking with Amazing Spider-Man and from my Marvel side and Superman from my DC side.
I don't want to completely just deject from what we were talking about, but just to run back to Midsummer, I just read a review. And this one I kind of like. It says, a visceral, unique, utterly fucked up experience that demands to be seen on the big screen. Midsummer is the horror movie to beat in 2019. Caution. Contains distressing amount of folk music.
Of what music?
Folk music.
Like Eagles? Folk music? Or like...
That's all it says.
Or like banjo folk music.
Probably that. So the movie's about this couple goes on vacation and it takes part in this ritual in Sweden. And it's basically a cult. It ends up being a cult. I don't know too much about it. The trailer doesn't tell much about it. And if it tells me anything that like Hereditary, not knowing much about going into the movie is the best way to experience it.
I can't do that in theaters, dude. I can't.
Well, if it's anything like Hereditary...
I got a weak heart with that stuff.
Hereditary, and knowing you don't like the jump scare genre. Well, you like it, but it's not your favorite.
Yours is like horror movies. I think jump scares are cheap.
I couldn't play Alien Isolation.
You like the ones that are like gonna make you mentally like
they get in your head
messed up, and they're gonna make you think about it until like you forget that you saw the movie.
Because that's what horror is. Horror is dread. Horror is dread. Like it's thinking about it. It's thinking about.
I already have too much existential dread in my real fucking life. That's kind of why I don't like horror movies.
I'm not a fan of it either, but I loved Hereditary, and I loved The Strangers, and those are two of the. I mean, in Mike's words, two of the best psychological, I guess not thrillers, but horror movies that you can watch if you want to get into the genre. So I'll take his word for it. If he gives it the seal of approval, I'm in. Mullen.
You two have fun.
Comment down below calling Mungie a pussy.
Don't do that.
Hey.
I don't care. Call me what you want. I have different enjoyable experiences when it comes to cinema. It's just hard. It doesn't rank among them. If you just
do this for me, and if it's the worst experience that you've ever had, you don't have to do this anymore. But just for the sake of our fans, we want your reaction.
How about this? You know what? I'll call out the fan base. If the fan base is strong enough to tell me to watch this horror movie, I'll watch it with you guys. Not in theaters. I can't.
But I don't want to wait till it's out.
I can't do it in theaters, dude.
Then. I'll watch it. I'll go with you if Lex doesn't want to go. I know Lex
wants to see it. Lex is really excited about it.
I know for sure my girlfriend is not seeing that movie, so I guess I'll third wheel. Because Brianna wanted to kill you when we watched Hereditary, unfortunately. Like, she was so distraught by that movie.
It's my fault.
It's not your fault. That's why I told her, it was like, it's not Mike's fault. Yeah. I mean, I covered her eyes for most of the movie anyway, so.
Yeah.
I noticed Will Poulter is the kid from the movie with Jennifer Aniston and Jason Sudeikis.
Yeah. Anyway,
family.
You guys can get back to your topic.
No, I think we're
done.
Yeah, I just wanted to talk a little bit about Amazing Spider-Man. If you didn't want to if you were hitting your topic, I didn't know if you got to it yet.
I mean, my comic book recommendation was War of the Realms. It's still going on. Mm-hmm. I still got to read the last issue. I'm currently rereading the Powder Mage series again. I've recommended that like 8 times in this podcast. I got recognized as a top fan for that new game, Greedfall. I don't know if you saw the trailers for it. It's like a Flintlock fantasy RPG.
Flintlock fantasy.
So Flintlock fantasy is a book genre that I like to describe it as, because it's like fantasy mythical stuff in the era of Flintlock weaponry. So like Napoleonic era weapons.
Mm-hmm. So hold fast.
So yes. I'm trying to describe this the best way I can, but Flintlock fantasy is the best genre tie-in I can do. The last part of that saga for Powder Mage, it's ending in December, and I'm very much looking forward to it. I've shared it on Facebook that I was looking forward to this last book. I've fangirled when Brian McClellan actually answered some of my questions on Reddit and Twitter. He's the author. Mm-hmm. But yeah, you can talk about me, Spider-Man. That's what I wanted to mention, because I know you two didn't read Powder Mage.
As I mentioned earlier, my favorite hero to read is Spider-Man.
Howard the Duck.
Right now, ever since last year, I've been in absolute love with Nick Spencer's run, Amazing Spider-Man. Issue 24 is currently out. And for those readers who know, like, there's been an enemy being teased. This run's main villain for Spider-Man so far has been teased since last year. We finally get a name in issue 24. His name is Kindred, and I mean he does a beating to Mysterio in this one. I highly recommend. This is my comic book recommendation. Issue 24. Really, I wouldn't say. You could need knowledge from the first trade, but it's really not that important. I mean, picking this one up from here, I think, just introducing... There's a little backstory, but you don't learn much about the guy, the main enemy, but he's introduced in this one, in this issue. Definitely a good run. Nick Spencer's really good at drawing forth Spider-Man's personality. Him and Ryan Otley work really well together. Ryan Otley's the part-time interiors and cover guy on this. He does 6 issues. He does 12, and then another author does 12, because it's a twice a month mm-hmm. comic book. So we're probably going to get annual soon. But yeah, this one looked really good because Ryan Otley's interiors in this were actually really good, really well done. His style is amazing. I met him at Comic-Con a year and a half ago. Nice guy. Really nice guy. But you can just see the way that's not him, but the way he draws is like cartoony, but it pays a lot of homage to the guys of old in terms mm-hmm. of the cartoonish aspects.
Yeah.
And it's not like, it's the opposite spectrum of, like, say, what an Alex Ross art would be. Alex Ross has so much realism, so much emphasis on the realistic facial features, the reflections of light, whereas Ryan Otley's is really just like, there's good shadowing, but other than that, the lighting is just like, it would look...
Yeah.
Like, his best work, he'll be known for Invincible, the Image book run with Robert Kirkman. That's what he'll always be known for. But man, you need to pick yourself up Amazing Spider-Man. It's a great run. Nick Spencer's really good at the comedic aspect of Spider-Man. He picks up right where Dan Slott left off. I believe Dan Slott was the person who did Spider-Man before he took over. So definitely a good series if you want to pick up comic books. Yeah.
Cool. Yeah, so pick that up. Spend your money.
$3.99.
Oh yeah. That's less than.
Or wait for the trade. The first 2 trades are out. I highly recommend reading them, especially the first one.
That's less than a Hallmark card. So you have that to think about. All right, so to wrap this up here, thank you for tuning in. Thank you for watching us on YouTube, and thank you for streaming us on Apple Podcasts, Buzzsprout, Spotify,
YouTube.
Well, I said YouTube. God,
Spotify.
Jesus, dude, come on.
YouTube.
Anyway, so yeah,
Apple.
Thank you for following us on Facebook at Choose Your Character, and following us on Twitter and Instagram and Twitch at C_Y_character. And yeah, so thanks for tuning in. Thanks for listening, and we appreciate all of you. We appreciate the support.
Absolutely.
We hope to provide you more interesting and cool content down the line. This summer we're gonna try to do some stuff, but we'll announce it when it comes down the line. So, yeah. So
Still waiting on that Total War match, and once we get our streams together.
Yeah, we streamed a while ago.
World War I kind of killed Marcucci's laptop.
Well, it wasn't my laptop. It was my desktop.
his PC.
My desktop blue screened. It had some corruption, something going on, and I had to buy $40 worth of programs to clean it up. But anyway, hopefully that's fixed. I'm gonna try. I have the house to myself, so I can basically talk and I can stream. Because my house is a giant hallway. You have to go from room to room to get to places. So my parents have to go through my room to get to the bathroom. So you can imagine sleeping, puberty, and streaming was like.
Sleeping, puberty, streaming,
and having a girlfriend. So
I don't want to imagine that, but all right.
One that lived with me most of last year. But anyway, so yeah, thanks for tuning in. I'm Marcucci.
I'm Mike.
And I am Iron Man.
I want to change mine.
Spoil that movie.
I'm Mungie.
Yeah, he's Mungie.
I'm the Silky Seuss. No, Cowboy Munch. I got the canteen that you got.
So we can't use that?
Yeah, we can.
Then why are we doing it? Okay, so I guess we're doing it again.
Oh, Jesus Christ.
It's fine.
All right.
I'm Mike.
We're never going to get this right.
Let's go.
We'll be 10 years down the line.
You go first.
I'm Marcucci.
I'm Mike.
And I am Iron Man.
I'm Mungie.
Oh, man.
Why?
Okay.
Why do you do that?
Thanks, guys.
Because I hate everybody.